star will become one of only 6 players in the history of women's international soccer to score 100 goals or more. 2 weeks ago in the Virginia Beach rain, U.S. women's soccer celebrated a baptism of sorts as new head coach Greg Ryan began his tenure. A mix of familiar and not so familiar faces offered a glimpse into the future as the women's team began preparation for the 2007 Women's World Cup. Today, the U.S. team will enjoy a homecoming of sorts, this time over 3,000 miles across the country in Portland, Oregon. Rose City welcomes home one of its favorite daughters back to her college field on the campus of the University of Portland. The U.S. hosts Ukraine next. Welcome to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, where today the Ukraine takes on the United States at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Glenn Davis. And of course, the United States, an important preparation match here for the 2007 World Cup. But the big story is about Tiffeny Milbrett returning to her college roots here on the campus of the University of Portland in quest of goal number 100 in her international career. Let's now go to my partner, former captain, U.S. international Julie Foudy, who's played here a few times.
I did have a chance, and what a wonderful place to play. Merlo Field here at the University of Portland, a wonderful soccer facility with a wealth of history. And Tiffeny Milbrett, she's played here more than just a few times. She spent 4 years terrorizing defenses as a Portland pilot, and the fans, as you can imagine, are ecstatic to have her back at home. And what a nice place to call home, Glenn.
Thanks, Julie. A quest for 100 goals, something rare at the international level. If Milbrett gets it today, she would be one of only 6. The U.S., Heather Mitts, taking on the Ukraine. Coming up next on ESPN2. Goal number 99 for Tiffeny Milbrett came back in October of 2003, and today she's looking for historic goal number 100. Tiffeny Milbrett now joins Julie Foudy, reflecting on her career and former coach and mentor Clive Charles.
Tiffeny Milbrett, 16 months away from the team, and you're back. And you're not just back, you're back here on your field in your hometown. How about the emotion of that?
Well, I don't know. I don't feel any. I'm still kind of numb. But, you know, what a journey for me. And I think what a journey for this team. I mean, how can you not want to bring a team here at University of Portland? And obviously, Clive is a big part of this, and he's everywhere.
And you reached a milestone last week with the 200th international appearance. And you're shooting for another one today with your 100th goal. Any predictions today?
Well, I just feel good. I think that's the bottom line here. That's what I always wanted to do, is feel good, because good things happen. And, you know, I hope so. I hope today, and if not, I'll keep trying.
Well, thank you, and best of luck on your field today.
Thank you.
Tiffeny Milbrett hopes the quest for 100 will occur here today at the University of Portland. When we come back, starting lineup, opening kickoff, all from the University of Portland, Ukraine, U.S. next on ESPN2. This is the University of Portland, and Tiffeny Milbrett being honored before the start of this game for earning her 200th cap against Canada 2 weeks ago, joined by her mother, Elsie Parnham, U.S. Soccer President Bob Contaguglia, and Clarina Charles, the wife of Clive Charles. And we also saw the Ukrainian coach joining in there in the celebration for Tiffeny Milbrett. Let's go to the U.S. starting lineup today, and maybe a little bit of a change for Greg Ryan from 2 weeks ago, Julie. Today, a 3-4-3.
He's using a different lineup again. He played a 4-3-3 last week, and 2 weeks ago against Canada, also went to a 4-4-2 in that game. Going with a 3-4-3. Shannon Box in the middle, and you see the 4 in midfield and the 3 up top. Christine Lilly being pushed up top.
And there's Shannon Box. She'll be wearing the GPS system, which is going to track the amount of running she does today. So we'll actually have a number in miles of how much running she does out of the central midfield position today. U.S. in the white, the Ukraine in yellow. It's game on here at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. And Greg Ryan talking to us last night, Julie, mentioning to us that this is a team that today is going to press the Ukraine.
He said with this 3-4-3 formation, the idea behind this is obviously to press. And defensively, you're going to see when the United States turns the ball over, they're going to send numbers flying at the Ukraine. And
already you see the Ukraine adopting a deep position here as this long ball hit by Reddick is going to find Tiffeny Milbrett on the right side now. Milbrett cuts it back into the box. It goes in. The Ukraine will try to clear the area. We'd like to thank Bud Light and all of our U.S. soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you this game without interruption. Margraf now drives a direct ball. Christy Welsh, shot there, just off the mark. So already the United States putting the pressure on a Ukrainian team. And let's take a look at the Ukrainian lineup here. And of course, we see them defending deep already, Julie. But this is a team that's had some struggles to get here. We'll talk more about that in a moment.
And they're going to go in a very defensive posture. They're going to go in a 4-5-1 posture. It's something they used in the European Championship qualifiers. And we expect them to bunker down.
Lily into the box and pounced on.
And you can see already the United States having some success against that bunker. The Ukraine is going to drop into a very low-pressure defense.
The Ukrainian team did not qualify for the European Championships, currently ranked 19th in the world, as Milbrett called for the foul there. Number 9, Vera Dykja, who actually was one of the goal scorers in a victory they had over Scotland, one of the few wins that they had in European qualification. You just saw a quick look at Tiffeny Milbrett, and she is the story here today.
And it's just amazing how the stars have aligned for Tiffeny Milbrett. Going into her 200th game 2 weeks ago against Canada, and then going for her 100th goal here at home.
Wagner trying to bring in Lily here. He's pushing down the right side, cuts it into the box, played on, Milbrett, this could be 100, save, and cleared by the Ukraine. The save coming from Veronika Shulha, as Tiffeny Milbrett early trying to get goal number 100.
And this is one of the beautiful things about a three front. You've got people flying at the Ukrainian defense. Christine sends a nice ball across. Christy Welsh flicks it on. Milbrett just having a tight, tough angle from the corner.
Ali Wagner standing over the corner. Lily coming over there.
And the targets for the United States, we've got a lot of height on this team. You have Kat Reddick, Shannon Box, Christy Welsh.
Good looking corner and fisted straight up in the air dangerously. And the Ukraine struggling to get this clear. Speaking of struggling, they had immense problems getting here. Team got split up, only had 7 at training yesterday, and offside flag is up there. And a late whistle coming from referee Jennifer Bennett.
And there, Glenn, is a good early look at what Ukraine is going to try and do today. They're going to drop back into a low-pressure system, 4-5-1, and then try and come out fast with a counter and catch the United States overcommitting in numbers offensively.
Here's Heather Mintz now, the Margraves, who's adopted more of a leadership role. Good-looking ball to Lily. She's going to let it run, and Kalupny couldn't get there. Head coach Greg Ryan, in only his second domestic game in charge of this team, earned the job after leading the team on an interim basis to the Algarve Cup Championship in Portugal. They are undefeated and unscored upon under him.
5-0-0 for the year and a shutout for 2005. And having played in the Algarve Cup many years, that is quite a feat.
Looking the end by what a move from Lily. Cuts it back. This one chipped in, save. Ashulia gathering that one in again. This one comes from Milbrett, so Milbrett knocking on 100 here. Lori Fair pressing there for the U.S. Here is the Ukrainian head coach, Vladimir Kulyev, and Ukraine just had unbelievable problems getting over here. One of their team secretaries was detained with passports. 7 players made it in yesterday for practice. Others couldn't get out. Others got in last night from Newark, New Jersey. This team, Julie's got to be exhausted.
And then after all of this, they happen to be flying through, unfortunately, through London, which, as we know, this week has had some terrible tragedy. So that delayed them as well. And
Nike outfitting them for this match today. And this is a good-looking ball. And off her line is Nicole Barnhart, who takes over for Hope Solo, who has played in the last 4 games and has gotten shut out. So Barnhart getting a chance today in goal.
And with this 3-4-3 system and Abby not being here, she's at one of her best friend's wedding that she's in. It gives the United States a different look up top.
Lily driving into the box. Milbrett is stationed at the top. Tackled away. Wagner couldn't control it. And the Ukraine will get the free kick.
You're seeing a lot of activity with Christine Lily. And that's the difference without Abby. You're going to see one of the 4 points of this game that we're going to talk about a lot, Glenn, is being Abby-less. Christine Lily, 2 weeks ago against Canada, was in the midfield. Now she's up top. She has great versatility and mobility. And then one, of course, for the record books. Is Tiffeny Milbrett going to get her 100th goal today? That is what everyone is talking about. She would love to see it here at her home. And defensive pressure, setting that tone in the first 15 minutes in that 3-4-3 and that aggressive style. The United States are going to be pressing, trying to get Ukraine to cough the ball. And then the last one, oxygen on the outside, which in this system, if you are an outside midfielder, you need an oxygen tank strapped onto the backside of you.
Here's Milbrett. She's going to try it from long range, just over the top. But Tiffeny Milbrett already has taken 3 shots here inside 7 minutes, and goal number 100 is within reach here today.
And Tiffeny Milbrett, she's always sniffing around for that ball. She's always in the right places. That's what great goal scorers do. And she's going to be taking as many looks as she can. She saw her look up, look where the keeper was, and just try and chip it over her head there.
Milbrett loves playing here in Portland, and this portion of the match presented by Comp USA as the Ukraine trying to build and break out. Fair wins it back to Wagner. Wagner switches it wide open as Lilly. Offside flag is up. The U.S. trying to pick out Kristine Lilly on the far side of the field.
And Allie Wagner, when she sits in that little seam in between the Ukrainian defense and the Ukrainian midfield, she's going to be trying to face up and then find one of her 3 forwards running through. There, just an unfortunate timing issue with Kristine Lilly.
Ukraine trying to build things through Deitel, but it's broken up. Radic will knock it forward and headed firmly right back at the U.S. by Masalska. Here's Wagner. Golupny, who is providing some great energy on the left so far for Greg Ryan. Ukraine now trying to build things. And Julie, they certainly look very technical and comfortable with the ball at their feet.
And here we're going to get a look at the 2005 report card for Greg Ryan. No goals allowed in all of 2005 as a head coach. Interim, like you mentioned, Greg, at the Algarve Cup. They went undefeated. And most impressive is he hasn't had much time to train these players. He's only had 6 days in between before the Algarve Cup. He had 6 days before the Canada game, 6 days here in the entire year. So, and one of the things that he keeps talking about with them is I want them to have the freedom to be creative and to think and be instinctive. I want them to feel the game. That's what is lacking in American soccer is we get drilled and we get drilled, and he wants them to really to think and figure it out themselves. Ukraine
building it up there. Their striker.
And Ukraine, for the first 8 minutes, we knew the United States was going to come out and set the tone with high pressure. They had a couple chances. The United States had a couple chances early, but to stay 0-0 and try and get through this first 15 minutes is going to be critical for Ukraine.
Here's Milbrett in a familiar pose, picks out beautifully to Lilly, and Lilly's finish, not a good one, right at goalkeeper Veronica Shoya. At that time set up by Tiffeny Milbrett as Ukraine now breaking out, and I think getting back to Greg Ryan, and we'll do that in a minute. Allie Wagner. Lilly, who continues to work down the right side now. Kristine Lilly has got Welsh in the box, has got Milbrett in there, and it flies over everybody, and goal kick.
But great mobility with the top 3 for the United States. Kristine Lilly on the right side, Kristine Lilly on the left, Millie switching to the left. And like I said, with this 3-4-3 system, that mobility is critical. If you get caught static, you're very easy to mark. So you're going to see them constantly switching positions, making lateral runs. Lateral movement is critical.
If you're Ukraine, you got to be pretty happy you're surviving the early moments of this game after the horrific travel problems they had getting here. And here's Milbrett now. Trying to turn the corner. Still Milbrett, and finally pushed out for a corner by Golovko. As Milbrett again, certainly very inspired here in the early minutes. Wagner to take the corner, and just to tag what you said about Greg Ryan, there's a great air of confidence, relaxation, enjoyment around this U.S. team right now. Lilly and Wagner both over by this corner, and it's going to be Lilly. Drives it in. Box got up, one of the good prime targets for the U.S.
And there's no question there's definitely an ease right now to this team, and especially in a time of transition. It's difficult to establish.
Fair stepping up and couldn't control it. Good pressure there. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade as the Ukraine on the throw here. Rezvin to take it. box will win it back. Feet of Wagner. It's Milbrett. And poke tackled away. Fair. Welsh. Christy Welsh, currently the leading goal scorer since the Algarve Cup in all these games under Greg Ryan, with 6.
Christy Welsh just having such a breakout 2005.
Get it? The long ball will go right to Ukrainian goalkeeper Shoy.
Christy Welsh has been with the national team pool. A lot of people don't know this because she's never made a World Cup or Olympic team for 5 years. 5 years, and now finally given a consistent chance. She's put in 6 of the 11 goals for the United States this year.
It really is a remarkable story, and you have to wonder, was this just about opportunity? Fair steps up. Welsh peeling off to the right, gets it from Lori Fair. Good ball. Into the box it comes. Ukraine having a hard time getting out of their own half here. Welsh out of Penn State.
I'll tell you, Greg, talk about was it just about having the opportunity. Early on, a great story about Christy Welsh is it was about fitness, that's for sure. She came in the first time with the national team. We were running 120s, the length of the field.
Golubny into the box. Wagner was there. Welsh. And concedes the corner.
So running 120s, which is the length of the field. And yeah, if you miss one, you have to run them over and over. The poor kid ran about 20 that day, and I thought, we're never going to see her back here again. She's never going to want to come back.
Good goal-scoring record, 6 goals in only 5 games, and has been a prime target along with Wambach, who is not here today. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Short one from the U.S. Lilly. Up the box. Golubny. Look at that burst of acceleration from Golubny. Well, Nike coming into the world of technology with Maxi Sight Sport tint contact lenses, and they're kind of strange looking because they're amber colored.
Freaky is what they are. Look at them.
But apparently they increase the clarity in your vision, and you pick up the ball better, and cuts out all kinds of UV rays and everything. And amazingly, the players are really just all juiced about these contacts.
Oh, they love them. They said it's unbelievable how you used to be squinting and you lose the ball in the sun, and all of a sudden it's like this clarity that they've never had before. So they love them. But the first time Danielle Fotopoulos walked up to me with them on, I thought, what the heck has happened to you?
They're a little bit scary. I'm afraid some of the young people wanting to get interviews might be a little frightened here and have nightmares.
They said they walked up to some kids and signed some autographs, and they like step back.
Well, look at this blast just off the mark again, validating the power that Reddick has from long range. But without a doubt, they are helping the vision. And the U.S. in new jerseys today that are conforming to the style of women's soccer, and new equipment, Air Legend boots. And Julie, it's all about comfort if you're a player.
And in the past, we used to have these really baggy uniforms when we played, and they were easy to grab, and players were constantly grabbing them, and they were hanging off you, and it wasn't aerodynamic at all, and I need as much aerodynamics as I can have. So these jerseys are nice and streamlined. They're vented in the back, and they fit, most importantly.
Keep players cool as well under very hot conditions.
Now, 14 minutes in, the United States has had 5 good looks and hasn't finished one of them. That's got to be driving Greg Ryan a little bit crazy on the sideline, because the intent of the United States was to come out and to put the pressure, and they've done that, but they haven't then finished off those chances. And all of a sudden, you're giving the Ukraine life.
The U.S. has 8 shots to the Ukraine's 1, but finishing not there yet. Wagner now to Fair, who joins in this very important wide position. He tries to bring in Milbrett. Offside flag is up, as Lori Fair trying to pick out former University of Portland pilot Tiffeny Milbrett.
And great mobility by the front 7 for the United States, which is very difficult to defend for Ukraine, because instead of just 3 forwards coming at you, you have 3 out of the midfield coming at you as well. So you've got 6 or 7 players that you're constantly trying to sort defensively.
Portion of the match presented by Phillips. As the Ukraine just knocking this forward. That one coming from Zhidanova. Golubny. Again, I mentioned they were in qualification for the recently completed European Championships won by Germany, which had a lot of people talking about the quality of those games in Europe. Welsh is offside.
And the Ukraine running a very aggressive step. They're trapping, catching our forwards, the United States forwards offsides.
Fair, nice touch there. Margraf goes all the way back now to Barnhart, earning her 3rd cap today. Fair. U.S. will get the throw here in the 17th minute. 2 changes today for Greg Ryan from his lineup from the Canada match that they won 2-0 in Virginia Beach 2 weeks ago. And one of them is there. Heather Mitts now on the ball. Box. Margraf. To the feet of Lilly, who checked back into midfield, gets turned. Here's Heather Mitts. Wagner. Milbrett is central. Fair's trying to turn the corner, and Fair thought had earned a corner, but it is a goal kick for the Ukraine.
Good patience by the United States. Finding seams, finding feet, and then all of a sudden, you've got them in behind the Ukrainian defense.
Well, Captain Christine Lilly wore the GPS 2 weeks ago and logged 6.9 miles. Grandma logged 6.9. That's what they call her on the team. And we've got Shannon Box hooked up on it today. It's going to be interesting to see how much running that she does out of her deeper midfield position.
I was talking to Shannon Box last night. She said, "Jules, you got to make me look good. My position doesn't run as much as Lil's." I said, "I got your back."
I'm sure a few of them have come up to her saying, "You got to make me look good."
Right. It is interesting, though. You can compare and contrast the different positions and different styles of running, and eventually we'll put them on a back, we'll put them on a forward, and I always have to defend my midfield position and say that we, of course, do all the running out there, Glenn.
Resvin knocking this one forward, and Barnhart off her line. And a day where there's not a lot of pressure on you, very important for a goalkeeper to really stay mentally sharp like Nicole Barnhart today, only earning her 3rd cap. Lilly with a lot of time and space here on the left side. Lilly, and is going to earn a free kick here. 18th minute.
Nicole Barnhart's very first cap came actually on the field. She was a field player. She came in the fan celebration tour post-Olympics, came out on the field to earn her first cap for the United States, and then, of course, her second one was at the Algarve Cup. So only her 3rd start today for the United States.
First cap coming against Mexico. Lilly and Wagner stand over it. It's Wagner, flips it into the box. Shannon Box was the target. Made contact, but right at Shula. And bad distribution there. It's one back by Welsh, Christy Welsh. Box. Lori Fair now. And what a great story for her. Did not get much opportunity in 2004. Back in the picture now under Greg Ryan. And also was a member of the '99 team that won the Women's World Cup.
Played alongside me at the Olympics in 2000. We started every game together in the middle. It's nice to see her back. She didn't make the 2003 World Cup team, as you said, Glenn. And interesting enough, Lori Fair didn't train the entire 2004 year with us, with the United States, and then was brought on at the very end as an alternate because Coach Heinrichs liked the way she was playing in 2004, wanted her for her versatility.
He picks up her 119th cap, and there you see that tenacity by Lori Fair from Los Altos, California. Played every minute of the 2000 Olympics in midfield. The captain Resvin on the throw.
Coach Ryan was also working on throw-ins yesterday as part of their defensive pressure and pressing, saying, I don't want to see any Ukrainian throw-in lead to an offensive attack.
And let's be fair. I mean, 2005 really is for monitoring players, giving players opportunity. He said 2006 the qualifying will begin. He's going to start narrowing things down. And then, of course, 2007, it's the Women's World Cup in China. Strong header there by Mitz. This is Wagner. A portion of the match presented by Bud Light as Box now swings it to Kat Reddick out of Birmingham, Alabama. To Lori Kolupny. Now this today is the 6th anniversary of the U.S. victory over China in penalties to win the 1999 Women's World Cup, one of the most defining moments in women's sports history. And who will ever forget the game-winning penalty from one Brandy Chastain?
6 years. Seems like yesterday.
Milbrett. Look at the great control and the ability to get turned from Milbrett. Into the box it comes. Lily was there. A late whistle there, foul on Kate Margraf. Now, talk about Kate Margraf a little bit and the importance of her at the back now with the retirement of Joy Fawcett and how things might change. We'll get back to that in a moment. ESPN2's coverage of Major League Soccer continues Saturday afternoon as Frankie Hayden and the Columbus Crew take on Chris Armas, the Chicago Fire. Major League Soccer on ESPN2 Saturday at 4 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com. Radio Shack presenting Columbus and Chicago.
Kate Margraf has played in 2 World Cups, 2 Olympics. She's the lone veteran on the back line right now, and she's always had Joy Fawcett, another veteran who played on the national team for 18 years. Brandy Chastain, very vocal. And now is her opportunity to step up as a leader, and she's done just that. Because you need someone organizing, as you know, Glenn, on that back line, when they're going to step, when they're going to press, when they're going to drop. I mean, that communication is just critical. So Kate Margraf has stepped into that role, and the great news is she feels so comfortable about it and is doing a phenomenal job.
This portion of the match presented by Bud Light. And the Ukraine, as you can tell, in no hurry to sort of get things restarted here, trying to keep this game somewhat manageable and under control and at a pretty low pace, I would think.
You can see that they are just coming off this flight. They just got in last night. They're going to be jet lagged. As much as they can slow the game down and stay in this bunker in this low pressure style, it's to their advantage. And that's where the United States needs to be very creative. They have to attack with more creativity and try and get different players in and pick it up.
Welsh to Lily. Couldn't control it, and busy work there by Datel. Titova knocking it forward. Ukraine still trying to get themselves out of their own half, and very rarely have they. As they try to swing it, Mitz wins the header, and the second ball is going to be won by Wagner. To Lily. Milbrett is central, so is Welsh. Here's Lori Fair. Sukarukova lost it, and here goes Heather Mitz. Flying down the right side. Can she save it? Yes, she does. Heather Mitz. To Welsh. To Mitz. Still Mitz. And this is about determination. Cuts it back in a flying save from Schulha. But great work there and tenacity from Heather Mitz to keep an attempt alive.
Great perseverance. Heather Mitz coming forward from the back. She's an outside back, and in this 3-4-3 formation, you're not going to see that as much. It's difficult to get backs forward in this 3-4-3. Unlike 2 weeks ago against Canada, where they were flying outside backs forward, they're going to stay home more often today against the Ukraine.
Reddick to box. She gets turned. Here's Wagner. Swings it out here to Fair. Do you think the tempo needs to be a little bit lifted here? A little bit methodical right now from the U.S. team?
Well, it's interesting. It's like music. It's slow, and then you got to pick it up and go faster. And
Welsh gets turned. Big tackle, took a deflection. Ukraine still under pressure here. Christine Lilly now, the captain. She's played more international games than anybody. Milbrett for 100, not there. Wide open at the back post after great delivery from Christine Lilly.
That would have made perfect sense. Christine Lilly, almost at 300 caps, over 100 goals, serving an assist to Tiffeny Milbrett. And unfortunately, Tiffeny Milbrett just doesn't get it on target. She squares up to the goal too early.
Lilly filling the role of captain, and what a wonderful player. Against Canada was just a joy to watch 2 weeks ago with her decision-making and creativity on the ball. Up goes Margraf, wins that header. This portion of the match presented by Home Depot. And Ukraine trying to build something here as Mitz wins it back. To Margraf. Played every minute at the Olympics, and we mentioned before, been getting the job of providing more leadership. Good-looking ball there, but broken up by number 14, Golovko. Borukova. More direct play and brought down nicely by Reddick.
I was saying before, Glenn, with the change in pace, you got to slow it down sometimes, and then all of a sudden it's got to be the quick shift, because the defense is going to collapse on one side, and especially in a bunker like this, get the defense to collapse, and then you have to quickly switch it with some pace to the other side and break free.
How do you pull them out? Because they are defending nearly at the top of their 18-yard box. How do you pull them out to create some space from behind?
Well, just like in basketball, when a team's playing a zone, when you throw it into the center, into a Shaquille O'Neal, for example, and the defense collapses on him, then that's when he's going to then kick it wide. But you got to get the defense to shift. It makes no sense just to keep passing around and they just shift, you know, a few yards here, a few yards here. You got to really get them to bite on a player by finding a target player in the seam, have them collapse, and then you can knock it out to a wide player.
Good look at Lori Kolupny, who has been very important for the United States. Had a goal versus Canada. Started all 4 games at the Algarve Cup out of the University of North Carolina. 15th appearance today with 2 goals, and was an All-American for the Tar Heels.
And she's very familiar, Lori Kolupny, with this outside midfield position. She plays this exact position at North Carolina. She's going into her senior year there as an All-American. So her positioning is excellent. She contributes so much offensively because she has the confidence to go at that back line and really take them all 1v1.
Wagner tried to bring in Welsh. Welsh on the throw, tries to go to the feet to Lilly. Tried to flick it on. It's one back by Kolupny now. Kolupny driving into the box, and that one broken up. Salskia. Shannon Box. To Heather Mitz. They're providing the width on the right side. They're going to the feet of Milbrett. U.S. has got to figure out a deep-lying Ukrainian defense. And they'll get a free kick. I'm sure they'll got it. Fortunate match presented by Home Depot.
The United States got a very fortunate call with that one. We're about at the midpoint of the first half, and with all the looks the United States has had.
Quick one. Lilly! And a hand on it. Shuga. That quick restart, the captain. Nearly getting goal number 1.
And this is what I love about Kristine Lilly. She's always looking for this quick restart. Great save. Great save by the Ukrainian keeper. Always looking for that quick restart, trying to catch the defense off balance.
Wagner gets it over. Lofto got a head on it and finally cleared there by Pakur. Pakur actually had a game-winning goal against Portugal in European Championship qualifying of only 2 wins. And there's a penalty. There's down on Ali Wagner. And a yellow card issued. To number 13.
Good defensive tackle. Stops the offense.
Solskjaer picking up the yellow card. Of course, restarts very important in games like this when you're playing against teams that defend so deep, and the U.S. working on them during the week during training.
And of course, restart's the only time where you can actually run a set play. The United States has a sort of height.
Reddick gets it in.
With this team, so they have about 4 or 5 targets. We've never had that many targets we could go to up top.
McClure now. He's got a good left foot. Drives it forward, nobody there. Reddick one-times it. Kolupny can't win it, and free kick for the Ukraine. And this free kick will actually give them an opportunity to get pushed higher up the field here in the 30th minute.
I think they're probably anticipating that they're not going to spend a lot of time in the attacking half. They're going to be bunkering in, and then it's going to be a quick counter.
Travel problems they had. I mean, it's amazing people have gotten here and are providing the spirit, and you got to wonder if that's going to affect them in the latter stages of this game. Nonetheless, it's an opportunity to go up against number 2 in the world, the United States. As that one broken up by Golovko.
And it's always an interesting dilemma for either team. The United States obviously wants to get numbers forward to counter the bunker, and their 9, 10 players are getting behind the ball.
Wagner into the box. Walsh! Saving play. Still U.S. Walsh, could she turn it in? Yes! 1-0 U.S. in the 31st minute.
string of goals. 7th goal for just this year. Allie Wagner finding a great seam. Christy Welsh having the presence to stay on her feet and still find the open net.
Yeah,
and the Phillips goal cam, good look from behind.
Goal number 20 for Welsh, and credit her perseverance here to just turn this thing in before retreating Ukrainian defenders could get there. The U.S. have the 1-0 lead. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade.
And you could see her just, not trying to go too early to get offside. She was holding, and Allie Wagner was able to play that nice little seam ball in there.
Kalupny to Margraf, who drives a great ball to the feet of Lori Fair. Got a little 2-on-1 situation out here and tries to bring in Milbrett, but it's broken up by Pakur, who does a nice job to fight off Fair. Still Pakur, and earns the throw for the Ukraine.
But that's a good look of a quick switch by the United States, and Lori Fair is then in a 2v1 situation, which is exactly what you want to see in this formation. Those outside midfielders creating numbers up on the outside.
Welsh's goal unassisted in the 31st minute. Fair wins that header. Welsh to Lilly, and the U.S. will get another free kick. Quick one to Milbrett. Floats it into the box and took a deflection off a Ukrainian defender. Bakur now. It's pretty tough. Everybody looking forward, getting their heads up for the Ukraine. There's not much in front of them. And the Ukraine will get the throw here as more work from Tiffeny Milbrett, who was keeping busy Veronica Shulha in goal for the Ukraine.
Very dangerous ball across the back line by Tiffeny Milbrett. Turns the Ukrainian defense. That's where you see almost an own goal.
Margraf stepping up nicely. Wagner. And again broken up. The U.S. squad arrived here in Portland last Sunday. Had trained at the Nike World headquarters. And if you listen to Greg Ryan, we don't do drills. It's all about gameplay.
And he said it's been interesting because the team is so used to structure and being drilled that they want it. They're asking him for it. And he says, I'm resisting. I want them to play. I want them to feel it. I want them to solve problems on the field without me having to point it out.
He likes to say he's giving the game back to his players.
And it's an interesting tactic. I really like it because one of the things that's always talked about with American soccer is we're drilled to death in this country as young players, and so we don't have the instincts of Brazilian players or European.
U.S. into the box. Lilly, flag is up. And Ukraine will get the restart here. This portion of the match presented by Bud Light. ESPN's presentation of USAvUKR is brought to you by Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real, it's all here. Phillips technology should be full as the box it comes in. And CompUSA. Visit CompUSA today for all your technology needs. Kalupny now blazing down the left side. And she will earn a corner for the United States. And again, it's an opportunity to get Kate Margraf and Kat Reddick forward. Danielle Fotopoulos up off the bench and actually had her first 3 international goals against the Ukraine back in '96 in Campinas, Brazil. In a 6-0 victory, she picked up a hat trick. Lilly drives it in, took a deflection, box was there, and couldn't make contact. Here's Bakur now. Bakur again now, and boy, I tell you what, she's pretty comfortable on the ball. Does not have a lot of help. Reddick onside is Welsh. Getting into the box at the far post is Lilly. Wagner now coming in support. Here's Lilly. Good run from her. And pushed away by the Ukrainian defense.
And Kat Reddick can hit one of the best 60-yard balls in the women's game.
Welsh is held up. Here's Lilly. Lilly's going to try it. What a shot! And what a goal from Christine Lilly. An absolute blast. Her 104th international goal.
Vintage Christine Lilly. She faces up and she's going to crank one with her left foot. It's just, it is so perfectly Christine. She hits such a sweet ball. It's like when you're hitting a golf shot, Glenn, and you hit it right on the sweet spot.
Look at that reaction from the U.S. bench. And man, what great contact there from Lilly.
And look at her little one finger up. That's only my 104th goal in my career.
Amazing career for this young lady, Christine Lilly.
I'd like to borrow that left foot every once in a while.
US up 2-0. This portion of the match presented by Phillips.
I call my left foot a bike stand. It just holds me up. That's about all it does.
The Coor shot is off the mark, but I guess important that the U.S. finally gets a few goals here and lifts the energy a little bit, Julie. Seemed to me a little bit of a methodical start. Welsh has come out, Fotopoulos on.
And that's an interesting early substitution. Greg Ryan mentioned to us yesterday that he was frustrated in the second half of the Canadian game, the last game they just played, about his forwards holding the ball and their inability to hold the ball. So he really thought when Danielle Fotopoulos came in their last game, she provided them a target up top and they were able to hold the ball. So again, Danielle coming off the bench early. Great target player with her size. Great goal scorer. Is the NCAA's all-time leading goal scorer with 118 goals. She was at the University of Florida.
Ukraine now building it. The U.S. does have great depth up front, and Milbrett now has a chance to run at the Ukrainian defense. Tiffeny Milbrett, and finally poke tackled away there by Titova as Milbrett, one of those vintage slashing runs right at the heart of the Ukrainian defense.
Just what I was thinking. It's so good to see that again. Tiffeny Milbrett just likes to slice through defenders. She just faces the goal and it's like Dash in The Incredibles. She just buzzes. She goes.
Reddick with the long throw here, which has also become a weapon for the U.S. And the target was Fotopoulos, who just came on for Christy Welsh. Here's Kolupny, and wisely brings it back to Margraf. Margraf trying to pick out a streaking Lori Kolupny. And she's looking good on that left side for the United States, and she earns the corner.
And with Lori Kolupny, what's lacking at the outside midfield position in the United States is a player that has the confidence every time they get the ball to take on. And Anson Dorrance is famous for telling his players, face up, take on. And you see that every time she gets the ball. I love that mentality.
Sixth corner for the U.S. Wagner takes it. Good looking ball. Fisted out by Shula. It's just so difficult for the Ukraine because once they even get out, there's nobody in front of the ball.
And with the aggressive formation the United States is playing, that 3-4-3, the idea behind it is obviously to get numbers offensively around the ball and defensively. So as soon as the United States loses the ball, you see them. They have numbers 7 up front, just constantly surrounding the ball, so the Ukraine is not even able to start a counterattack.
Trying to build something here. Deitel tackled away by Box. And Ukraine get the throw. 39th minute. And a nice piece of skill there. And broken up by Box. Here's Lilly. Fotopoulos in front of her. Broken up by Masaskia. U.S. again get a throw. Danielle Fotopoulos, 31 caps, earning her 32nd today. Sitting on 12 goals for the U.S. And here is Fotopoulos. Tries to cut it back. And over everybody. And Milbrett's not going to get this one despite her speed.
And a good...
Christy Welsh has been a model of consistency and efficiency.
And you see her finishing up a shot by Abby Wambach 2 weeks ago against Canada. And then again here, scrapping, staying on her feet, great balance, finishing it on the open net.
And the importance of that goal in the first half with the deep defending Ukraine, you got to put a circle around that. That first one, Christy Welsh out of Penn State, is the United States' leading scorer in 2005 with 7 goals.
And she trained all last year with the United States as we were gearing up for the Olympics in Los Angeles, and was so disappointed when she didn't make the final cut for the Olympic team. And so just what a great year she's having. I'm so happy to see her scoring goals like she has for years.
Into the box, Milbrett! Safe Shula. 100 may not come easy for Milbrett today as she speared that volley out of the air with her left foot. One of her trademark efforts.
You can hear the audience every time she's in front of the goal. They're like on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, I mean, the story of Milbrett and her 100th goal clearly is outweighing the fact that the U.S. is playing the Ukraine today here. I mean, people are coming out. to see this 100th goal. Good tackle from Wagner. And what they've seen so far is a 31st-minute goal from Welsh and a 36th-minute bullet from Christine Lilly in a 2-0 U.S. lead here at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. Fair.
And Milbrett looks like a different person. I mean, we're going to talk about some of her exhaustion and with the league in 2002 and 2003, but you could just see she's happier. She's happy to be out there playing. She's free. She feels it. She said it was that 16 months away from the team was the best, thing I did in my life, because I got my energy back for life and for the game. And so when you see her out there smiling again, it's so nice to see.
Julie, how rare is it, for an athlete to step away who's at that level and then to spend that much time away from the game and then return?
It's hard to do. And when she stepped away, she was at 199 international appearances and 99 goals. People were saying, what are you doing? You're at, the brink of these 2 milestones. How could you do this? She said, I don't love it anymore. And when I talked to her recently, she said, I love it again, and that's why I'm back.
Clearly, there were some differences in philosophy with former head coach April Heinrichs. Wagner is going to try a chip, but it's right into the hands of Schuler.
Allie Wagner, with her creativity, she would have been doing a little samba dance if she had chipped the keeper with that one. She would have loved that.
Patopoulos to Lilly. Milbrett's in the box at the far post. And the delivery not there. The goal kick will come to the Ukraine. And this really is amazing, the abundance of U.S. possession here in the first half against the Ukraine. Coming up at halftime, beautiful and interesting Tiffeny Milbrett feature. And you'll be surprised. Was affected by poor exhaustion. Also an update on Mia Hamm and U.S. men's national team Gold Cup performances so far, and also a look at their upcoming World Cup qualifying schedule. U.S. have won both their games in the Gold Cup and have already advanced to the quarterfinals despite not finishing group play yet. Here's Shannon Box. She pretty much defining this deeper midfield role here in the world now, Shannon Box.
Shannon Box is very similar to a Michelle Akers in that she can tackle like I've never seen. She just thunders through people, but then she also has the technical ability to play make. And in a defensive midfield position, that's the ideal player you want for your team. When she made the team in 2003 with the World Cup team, she had no international appearances, and she was named to the World Cup team because of her performance, solely because of her performance with the WUSA, the professional league.
And her debut scored in 3 straight games. And, she's also a goal-scoring threat out of that position. And I think, we tend to sort of put defensive midfielders into a certain little shell there and just say, they're ball retrievers and tacklers and hitters. But she brings a creative element to the game as well.
Yeah, that was always my excuse over the years for not scoring as many goals.
I think you did pretty good in your career.
In this different system today, in the game against Canada when they were playing a 3 midfield, her numbers in terms of this GPS she has on her would have been much different because she was having to track laterally across the field with those 3. They have to keep that triangle tight. Today, all she's doing is really holding and letting the 6 in front of her go. Patopoulos
trying to turn, and it goes right to Schuler.
She kind of screens for the back 3. She's going to sit right in front of them and really stop any counter that the Ukraine tried to get started.
And win headers like that. As it goes to Patopoulos, she gets hammered there by number 3, Masalska. And the U.S. will get a free kick here in the 45th minute. 2-0 lead here at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. Reddick set to take this free kick as U.S. getting some big targets forward. Box! And it was a good-looking ball from Kat Reddick. And that'll do it. First half comes to an end to the applause of the fans here at the University of Portland. The 100th goal eluding Tiffeny Milbrett, but the U.S. do have a 2-0 lead over the Ukraine as they continue preparation for 2007. More coming up here on ESPN2.
Always smooth, right from the start. Always refreshing, time after time. The days are heating up. And the Bud Light is just right. Bud Light. Great taste, your great times.
If you want to do more with your home and your budget, you can. Because the Home Depot is driving down the cost of home improvement, making more projects possible for more people. Every year, we permanently reduce prices all over the store. More than 5,000 over the last year alone. Whether it's our low price guarantee or our knack for making your projects more affordable, we're helping your hard-earned dollars work even harder.
The Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
You take care of your body. So can your toothbrush. There is more and more evidence that oral health impacts overall health. So it makes sense to use the Sonic brush, used and recommended by more dental professionals. Sonicare, because your mouth is the gateway to your body.
Why isn't there a DVD recorder so easy to use that I don't hear Dad say words I'm not supposed to hear? Why isn't there a defibrillator so easy to use that almost anyone can use it? Why can't technology be as simple as the box it comes in?
We think technology should simplify life, not complicate it.
The new Crunchwrap Supreme. Classic Taco Bell taste, grilled to go anywhere.
All these check email play MP3s. They're portable, so they're good to go. Even this? That's my lunch. Crunchwrap Supreme. It's good to go, but no email. Oddly enough.
Seasoned beef, warm nacho cheese sauce, a crunchy tostada shell, lettuce, tomatoes, and sour cream, all loaded into a flour tortilla and grilled for maximum portability. For classic Taco Bell tastes that are good to go, think outside the bun.
At Luling Chevrolet Buick GMC, will you still pay what we pay?
You betcha.
GM employee discounts with cash backs or special financing has been extended through August 1st. Can you still get Schlitterbahn tickets?
You betcha.
While supplies last, get the hottest, coolest tickets to Schlitterbahn Water Park Resort on the Comal River in New Braunfels or Schlitterbahn Beach Water Park on the Gulf of Mexico on South Padre Island. Get to Luling Chevrolet Buick GMC fast for GM employee discounts and your tickets to Schlitterbahn.
You betcha.
And welcome back to Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. The United States have a 2-0 lead over the Ukraine. Christy Welsh and Christine Lilly, the goal scorers. And, you know, goal number 100, eluding Tiffeny Milbrett here in the first half. But it's been a remarkable story, her return to the U.S. women's national team. She left the game, now back with the women, getting her first start here today. What really occurred when Tiffeny Milbrett was away from the game?
For everyone to fully appreciate, you know, where I've been the last, I call it like probably like 4 years, is, you know, just, it just feels like the bottom that you can go. You feel things slipping. You feel just even more and more not right. You know, it's to a point where, you know, I was really questioning if I was seriously ill or not. I knew I was in trouble well before I was actually diagnosed in September of 2002 with core exhaustion.
Then came the unfortunate news of the passing of Clive Charles, Tiffany's college coach and mentor, who greatly impacted her throughout her life.
Well, I just think, you know, everything that Clive was as a coach, he was even more impressive as a human being, and that was how he was with soccer. He was brilliant with soccer, but I tell you what, the reason why we were brilliant with soccer, I was brilliant with soccer, was because of what he did for you as a person first.
Milbrett took a break from both the U.S. national team and soccer in general, seeking refuge in Sweden. Then one day she received a very unexpected email.
Checking my email like any other day, and all of a sudden I see this G. Ryan at US. I just froze, and there's no way. There's just no way. But completely out of the blue, completely shocked. I think I stared at it for probably 10 minutes.
All you have to do is look at the stat column in international soccer, and you know why I brought her back. She scored 99 goals, and it won't be long before she gets number 100. She's a true goal scorer, a natural. She's very gifted, talented.
It's exciting to see, you know, that she still wants to play the game. I mean, she's got that speed that you can't compare to anyone. And when she gets the ball, you know that she's going to do something with it, whether she shoots, pass, or dribbles. So it's good to see her there and still have that in her supply.
Well, I would just say that right now, where I am is obviously a person that is trying to feel settled again. But right now on the field, I am a person that feels more settled than ever.
And one of her biggest supporters here today, Elsie Parham, Tiffeny Milbrett's mother, in attendance. And 2 weeks ago, she earned her 200th cap. And a ceremony honoring her for that before this game. When we come back, more on ESPN2. It's the U.S. and the Ukraine.
All right, here's one. You're stranded on the island. Name 3 things that you want with you.
A beautiful woman, an endless supply of Bud Light, and oh yeah, another beautiful woman. You know?
When are you gonna paint the hut? Not until he builds the raft. He said he was gonna build the raft yesterday. Girl, he said Mama told me not to get stranded with you.
God, oh, I got to work on my fantasies.
Bud Light, great taste for your great times.
Now this is what I'm talking about.
Sport is sport. A foul's a foul. And a bat's a bat, even if it's flat. 10 feet on the west side is 10 feet on the east side. Football is football, unless it's football. Now, a win's a win, a loss is a loss. But no matter what, you better come with it, because it's 90 feet to first, no matter where home is.
Nice turn, gets it in behind the defense. Shot!
Soccer fans, the U.S. women's national team is coming to Los Angeles. The USA takes on Iceland Sunday, July 24th, 2 p.m. at the Home Depot Center. Call Ticketmaster at 213-480-3232 or visit USAvUKR.com.
I want to save money, but I want my house to do it for me.
Turn your home into a money-saving machine. You can at the Home Depot. We carry over 1,800 money-saving items. So efficient, they've earned the trusted Energy Star label. Our associates and our website can give you the know-how to make every dollar work harder. Whether you do it yourself or let us help, you won't find energy savings like this anywhere else.
At the Home Depot, you can do it. We can help.
Why isn't there a DVD recorder so easy to use that I don't hear Dad say words I'm not supposed to hear? Why isn't there a defibrillator so easy to use that almost anyone can use it? Why can't technology be as simple as the box it comes in?
We think technology should simplify life, not complicate it.
Why isn't there a DVD recorder so easy to use that I don't hear Dad say words I'm not supposed to hear? Why isn't there a defibrillator so easy to use that almost anyone can use it? Why can't technology be as simple as the box it comes in?
We think technology should simplify life, not complicate it.
America's Soccer. Tune in for all the action every Radio Shack Soccer Saturday on ESPN2. Don't miss a moment.
Welcome back to the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're on the campus of the University of Portland here in Portland, Oregon. Merlo Field as the U.S. hosting the Ukraine. And one of the great legends of U.S. soccer recently retiring last December, the great Mia Hamm, now the wife of Nomar Garcia-Parra, recently in Chicago last Sunday, throwing out the first pitch to her husband and then taking her shot at Take Me Out to the Ball Game with her nieces. So Mia Hamm remaining very active, and the U.S. women's national team will also be very active, taking on Iceland July 24th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. That is at the Home Depot Center in Carson, California, as Greg Ryan's squad continues to tune itself up for the 2007 Women's World Cup. Speaking of tuning up, the men in the CONCACAF Gold Cup this past Thursday, 4-1 over Cuba. Landon Donovan picking up a pair in that one. And then yesterday, it was Donovan and company again as they take the stuffing out of Canada, 2-0. Donovan scoring a late goal in that one off a beautiful cross from DeMarcus Beasley. Here is the 2005 CONCACAF Gold Cup schedule. U.S. has already qualified for the quarterfinals. Tuesday, they take on Costa Rica in Foxborough. And then quarterfinals. And, of course, 2006 FIFA World Cup qualifying coming up as well. Big match against Trinidad August 17th. And put a circle around September 3rd as they take on the Tricolores of Mexico in Columbus, Ohio. Coming back with more here from the University of Portland and Merlo Field.
This place is just...
Welcome back to Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland, the U.S. a 2-0 league, and it is game on here in the second half as the Ukraine trying one from long range there. In the yellow jerseys, the United States in the white, they have the 2-0 lead. Glenn Davis and Julie Foudy, and certainly Julie, a first half that certainly the U.S. get the 2 goals they need. What's the goal here in the second half?
Second half is to finish more chances. They had 11 really good looks in that first half, and the United States would have liked to, I'm sure, have been up 3-4 going into the second half. So to keep creating chances, stay creative and mobile up top, but to hopefully finish some more chances for the United States. I'm sure Greg was talking to them at halftime about that.
Do you think they need to change the rhythm of their attack and speed it up a little bit at times and recognize that opportunity to speed it up a little bit quicker?
No question. When you're playing a low-pressure 4-5-1 type defense that the Ukraine is throwing at the United States, unless you change your pace, unless you speed it up, you're just not going to get them to shift fast enough. So, like we talked about in the first half, getting them to collapse and then quickly getting to the other side to where the gaps are.
Here's Kat Reddick now. We'd like to thank Bud Light and all of our U.S. soccer sponsors for allowing us to bring you this game without interruption. Patopoulos trying to bring in Shannon Box, free kick there. But our referee Jennifer Bennett might have allowed that one just to play on, but here's Kolupny now, getting down the left side. And it's won back by the Ukraine. 6 substitutions available for both teams here today. Look at the statistics from the first half here shortly, and certainly it was a half that was dominated by U.S. possession, U.S. shots, and there it is, 15-2, Julie. It pretty much validates the dominance.
No question. They had so many good looks in the United States. They had to have been a bit disappointed. Lily had a good breakaway one-on-one with the keeper that she didn't finish early, so it could have been a 3, 4, 5 goal game in that first half.
Kolupny to Reddick. And what an important cog she has become in the United States women's national team. Here's Margraf. Back to Reddick. And what a strong tackle there, coming from Mozalska, who then gets a favor return from Reddick.
And one of the things Ukraine is not being successful with is in any type of counter-attacking system, when you're trying to bunker in a 4-5-1 and then counter, you have to also get numbers forward when you counter. And what's happening is they've only had 1-2 good looks.
Bad ball. Lily picked it up. Was going to try and turn the corner. Cuts it into the box. Wagner. 3-0 U.S. A bad ball out of the back is punished by the United States. Allie Wagner will get credit for the goal. Her 19th for the United States.
And Christine Lilly, when she gets faced up and can take on defenders, you can see her having the confidence to go to the inline, and then just with a great deft touch, cuts it back to Allie Wagner, making a near post run. And then look at the Phillips goal cam. Critical that Allie's making that near post run.
And Lori Fair was also cruising in at that back post.
But what great presence of Christine Lilly to find that seam.
Fitopoulos trying to bring in Fair and obviously punishing a very bad ball out of midfield by the Ukraine. Early in the second half, the United States have a 3-0 lead. And are still hoping to maybe get Tiffeny Milbrett that 100th goal. Will it come here? Milbrett beats one, left-footed shot, safe surely. And the whole place on their feet here, knowing that that might have been history from Tiffeny Milbrett.
And here Tiffeny Milbrett having a good, clean look, going to goal. She cuts it nicely, but just didn't get enough on it. Ukrainian keeper's able to save it.
She's able to change direction so quickly. At 5'2" with such a low center of gravity. Just amazing how quick her hips turn and how explosive she is. Built so low to the ground.
Yeah, and she'll be a bit disappointed with that first touch because it slowed her momentum and gave the Ukrainian defender time to catch up.
Confidence building run there from the Ukraine. They're not going to get a call there. Stepping up is Wagner. Here's Lori Fair. You'd think something from an attacking standpoint would come from the Ukraine. It would probably come from Vera Deitel, number 9, who made that last run. Is that driven ball over the head of Milbrett.
And the challenge for Ukraine is getting numbers behind Deitel, getting them forward so she actually has some teammates up there with her.
This portion of the match presented by Gatorade, as Ukraine are going to earn that free kick. Now we talk about this time period for the U.S. women with the World Cup in 2007. 2005, this has got to be a time where players, certainly if they get opportunity, they got to evolve here.
This is definitely an evolution, experimental.
Get back to it in a second. Lilly! Fitopoulos, goal number 4. And the round is on here in Portland.
And those first 5 minutes when you come out of halftime, Greg Ryan said to us yesterday that he was disappointed in the second half against Canada. And you can see a different United States coming out second half this game. Great little ball in to Christine Lilly, who flicks it on to Fitopoulos, who nutmegs the keeper. That should count as an extra point, I think, Glenn.
Fitopoulos picking up her 13th international goal, and out of those 13, she has gotten 4 against the Ukraine. We've mentioned earlier she hit for a hat trick against the Ukraine back in 1996 in Campinas, Brazil, in a 6-0 victory.
And Coach Ryan, like I was saying, said that he thought they were flat last game against Canada. And you always talk about, as a team, those first 5 minutes coming out and setting the tone like you do in the beginning of the game. Equally critical in the second half.
I'm going to ask you about Greg Ryan. Now, in this game, where obviously the Ukraine are very overmatched here. We'll get back to that in a minute because Milbrett is buzzing around here at the top of the box. How much stock can you place into monitoring and watching the performance of your players on a day like today in Portland with a team that's coming over in a difficult situation with travel?
Well, the United States gets so few chances to play, especially this year. The second fewest games they've had since 1992, that any type of international game, even against a team who's obviously very jet-lagged and came over last minute and is probably a little bit scattered, is going to be helpful because you can try new things. You're constantly working on new things. This isn't necessarily about Ukraine today. This is about what's happening for 2007. And he can experiment. He can try new systems. He can look at all different types of players. Already in just this year alone, he's looked at 31 different players.
Fair to Lilly. He's got a goal and an assist already, and she couldn't pick out Wagner.
And with a lot of the veterans retiring, Mia Hamm, Joy Fawcett, you need Julie Foudy, right? You need, I don't consider myself retiring because look at me working away right here.
Is that saying you're coming back? Is there going to be a potential comeback? Or are we just breaking news?
No. it's your opportunity to give these other players some confidence and time.
Fotopoulos. Crosses blocked. Milbrett is at the far post. USAvUKR. Ukraine will get a free kick here.
And what
you got to give them credit just for being so game here after their situation trying to get over here. Tarpley and Frimpong set to come on. Frimpong will earn her first cap.
Now Lindsay Tarpley scored one of my favorite goals, Glenn, ever in the 2004 Olympics final game against Brazil. She was the one who cracked in that rocket from about 25 yards out.
3.3 miles. Shannon Box being monitored on the Garmin GPS.
So even in a different position, in a different system, I'm surprised actually it's that high because she's really a more holding central midfielder today.
Fair and Mitz come off. Tarpley and Frimpong come on. Frimpong is an interesting player out of the University of Washington, earning her first cap. Tell me a little bit about her, Julie.
Well, Tina Frimpong was a forward at the University of Washington, scored 42 goals there, and Greg Ryan said, you know what? I see a lot in her that I had as a player. I was a forward, and then I went to defense.
Wagner gets it in. Ball fell down to Fotopoulos.
So he said to her recently, how would you like to play an outside back for me with your speed and quickness?
Well, and he also said that's what happened to him in the North American Soccer League with the Chicago Sting and the Tulsa Roughnecks and the New York Cosmos. He was converted into a defender.
Exactly.
He's got amazing pace and speed and great agility. Here's Wagner. Puts it into the box. Milbrett. Shulha.
Milbrett is sniffing. She's dying for that. So are the fans. You can hear them.
He is buzzing around. This portion of the match presented by Home Depot.
And going back to Frimpong, when you talk to the players, because they've never really seen her. She hasn't been in with the national team. She's been in recently with the under-21s, but not the full women's team. Abby said, I don't know how I can get around her. I cannot get around her. I have to sit there and think and really analyze because she's so fast, not just over 50 yards, but over the first 5.
Driven ball into the box. Fotopoulos was a target. Back to Frimpong. Ryan says, basically, she's a player that needs games as you look at Danielle Fotopoulos. The question is he going to have enough time to get these young players the games that they need, like the Frimpongs, like the Carli Lloyds?
Well, these are, like we talked about, the development years, and unfortunately they've only had 5 domestic games, or will have only 5 domestic games in 2005, but hopefully he has a lot more time in 2006, because that's when he's going to have to stop experimenting and really hunker down on his core group of players and get them polished and clean so that you're going into 2007 confident.
With a lot of the better soccer playing nations in Europe, and we'll get back to that in a minute because the Ukraine has not gotten forward much. In fact, they've not even gotten into the penalty area today. And the strip there, Wagner. Milbrett over the top. She's onside. This could be 100. Over the top. Oh, what a goal for Milbrett. There is 100. Tiffeny Milbrett with 100, and it comes in stunning fashion. And this place going absolutely nuts on the campus of the University of Portland in honor of that woman, Tiffeny Milbrett, her 100th international goal. One of only 6 to accomplish that feat.
And you can see the smile, and I'm grinning from ear to ear up here in the booth. And what a great, typical Tiffeny Milbrett goal. She sees the keeper, has the vision to look up and see where the keeper is, and it's a great lesson for kids at home. You don't have to hammer every single goal in. She looks up, sees the keeper up her line, and just the soft little touch she made look simple there for her 100th goal. Right in front of all her fans and friends. I spoke to her mom before the game, Elsie, and I said, how you doing? And she said, she started to get a little teary, and she said, I just want her to do well in front of her friends and have fun.
How ironic is it that a girl who has been so definitive about how the way soccer should be played from a creative standpoint, who's attributed a lot of that to Clive Charles. I mean, I'm thinking she couldn't have scored that goal in any better way in her mind. Fotopoulos, Milbrett again. She wants 101 today. Wagner, she's going to blast one off the crossbar. U.S. now starting to pound a fatiguing Ukraine. 5-0.
That's one way you can defend with Tina Frimpong. If they get by you, that was my tactic. Just push them down.
Well, Greg Ryan has said, you know, she sometimes gets caught out positionally. She's so fast that she's able to recover and make up for maybe not great positional starting points. And that's an area of her game that he said is going to have to improve her tactical awareness and positional sense. And here she is, Tina Frimpong. The box.
And it's so wonderful to see the crowd go crazy for Tiffeny Milbrett. Many, I'm sure, thought that she was never going to come back when she stepped away at 199 and 99.
Pretty dramatic last 2 weeks for Tiffeny Milbrett. 200 cap 2 weeks ago against Canada. Her 100th goal to put her in company of only 5 other players, including Mia Hamm, Elisabetta Vignotto of Italy, Michelle Akers. Wagner squares it, Torpley, and didn't make good contact. Literally given a second chance, and it takes a deflection.
Lindsay Torpley is one of those pure finishers.
Here's a look at some of those aforementioned women. Mia Hamm, Elisabetta Vignotto of Italy, Carolina Moracci of Italy, and of course your teammates Michelle Akers and Christine Lilly.
Speaking of pure finishers, Mia Hamm is 158, separating herself from the rest of the pack, but you see a lot of Americans on that list.
Wagner drives it into the box, flick out by Tarpley, box is in there, and the finish from Fotopoulos. Gets number 2 on this day. Number 14 all time.
And this is another nice homecoming for Danielle Fotopoulos in a sense in that she hasn't been on the team for about 4 or 5 years. And here she's getting a good look, just scrapping around the box. They say the best finishers in the world always have that sixth sense. They always know where to be.
Fotopoulos spearing that volley in with the left foot, her second of the day. The U.S. now up 6-0, and it's quite a different start than it was to the beginning of the second half against Canada. Greg Ryan was actually not happy with how slow they started against Canada in that 2-0 victory, so I'm sure he reminded them at the beginning, or in the locker room, that they needed to come out strong, and they have. 62nd minute, it's 6-0, the United States over the Ukraine. Portion of the match presented by Comp USA. U.S. fans have been delivered what they wanted to see here today, and that was the goal from Tiffeny Milbrett. Now it's 6-0. I'm not going out on a limb saying this is pretty much over. What is the United States trying to do here? What can they take out of this game at this point?
Well, for example, you have a Tina Frimpong who's playing in her very first international appearance for the United States. So you're getting her comfortable with the system. You're trying a new system today in the 3-4-3. You have players like Danielle Fotopoulos who haven't been on the team for 4 or 5 years who are back in the system. So again, it's an opportunity looking forward to 2007. Everything is about how we're going to be a better team coming in to the 2007 World Cup.
A lot of confidence building, a lot of team building we're going on today. Let's go back to your 4 points, Julie, that we mentioned in the open, and see how they've applied here today.
Well, being Abby-less means that Christine Lilly got pushed to the front line. Her mobility, I think, has definitely helped that front line today. And, of course, we got to number 2. We got to the record books. Defensive pressure in the first half I thought was a little bit spotty. Didn't seem to make a difference in the second half. And then Oxygen on the outside. This is an interesting game because with the Ukraine team dropping into a bunker, it doesn't require those outside midfielders to have to bounce back as much as they normally would. So they didn't have to pull out the Oxygen tank today, which I'm sure Kolupny and Fair will be very happy about.
Maybe a few Ukrainian players after the tough conditions getting over here that might need Oxygen after this one. And to validate the dominance here today, Ukraine has not had a player in the ball with the ball in the U.S. penalty box. That went off the crossbar from Wagner. Second time she's hit the crossbar today. Next Saturday, 4 p.m. on ESPN2. Radio Shack presents Columbus against Chicago. Frankie Hayduck, the Columbus Crew, take on Chris Armas, the Chicago Fire. Major League Soccer on ESPN2 Saturday at 4 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPNSoccerNet.com. Petopoulos leaves with 2 goals. On comes the creative Angela Hucles out of the University of Virginia.
And also comes on again for her first international appearance with the United States women's team, Carli Lloyd from New Jersey. She's had some experience with the under-21 teams, and I really, really like this player. Very creative, very good on the ball, can crack a shot, Glenn, like you have never seen.
Played at Rutgers University from Delran, New Jersey.
And Heather O'Reilly will be very happy. Another Jersey girl is suiting up in the USA uniform.
Yes, New Jersey's starting to pull a little talent now and get some women on the U.S. women's national team. Milbrett turning nicely away there from pressure. Hucles to Kat Reddick.
Christy Rampone, another Jersey girl, pregnant, pulling the Joy Fawcett plan, due in October, and she'll be back with the team.
So what a day it is for Carli Lloyd earning her first national team cap. Player that Greg Ryan told us has tremendous upside. He's got to learn to become a little bit more of a two-way player because so many things are dependent upon her on the attack at Rutgers University.
Yeah, she was an All-American goal-scoring star at Rutgers and didn't have to shoulder much of the defensive responsibilities, and that is always my goal in life, but I never got to achieve that. But he wants to see her playing both sides of the ball now.
This portion of the match presented by Bud Light. The U.S. again will get a throw. A 6-0 lead here at Merlo Field on the campus of the University of Portland. Many of these fans coming out today to see if Tiffeny Milbrett would hit for 100, and not only did she hit for 100, but she hit in style.
What a beautiful, beautiful finish. And a great ball in by Allie Wagner. Just softly placed in behind the Ukrainian back line. Milbrett making one of her typical slashing runs to get in behind. She's going to love that on her highlight reel.
Hucles and Lilly standing over this free kick. It'll be Hucles. And Frimpong got up. She was noted for her ability in the air.
And there have been other players like Tina Frimpong to move from forward to outside back. One, most notably, Brandi Chastain, who was a forward on her 1991 World Cup team, got moved into the back line and finished, for years on the back line, always begging to move up front, but they kept her in the back. And the benefit of that, of course, is they love to come forward. They're natural with the ball at their feet, and they're great finishers. So you have another attacking presence on the field with Tina Frimpong.
Titova goes back for the Ukraine. Here's Margrat to Angela Hucles. Here's Carli Lloyd. Nice ball into the feet of Tarpley. Offside flag is up.
Danielle Petopoulos searching for her third goal. Give her a hat trick.
Let's go now to U.S. midfielder Shannon Bach. Shannon, thanks for joining us.
No problem. How are you?
Shannon, doing good up here. More importantly, how are you guys doing here? And in a game like this, where you're so dominant, what can you take out of this game here in the final minutes?
We came back out after halftime and just said, we need to play a lot quicker. And even though the competition obviously wasn't there, but we need to play like they are. And I think, we were playing a little soft first half, and we came out second half and stepped it up a bit. I mean, obviously with all the goals we've gotten in the second half, definitely improved.
Shannon, we talked about you wearing the GPS monitor, and you logged in 3.3.
Yeah, woohoo! Did good.
I know, and I pointed out to all the viewers that it was a much different formation for you guys today in the midfield. How was that playing the 3-4-3? The United States has not played that system in many years.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did pretty well. I mean, they had a lot of space in the midfield. I think they had 3 center mids a couple times, and we got caught, so I did a little bit more running. But I think we figured it out second half. We had Lori Fair come in a little bit and help out, and it helped a lot more, so I think we did pretty well.
That shot just off the mark. Shannon, thanks for taking the time to join us.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
U.S. midfielder Shannon Box, and of course, you know, I wonder when they put that GPS on you, if you start thinking to yourself, you know, I got to do a little bit more running.
All of a sudden, that track back is like, okay.
If that's the case, we put 11 on, maybe 10. Lily heads it down. Lily's got a goal and 2 assists today. Deitel.
We should have talked to Coach Ryan, though, about keeping her for 90 minutes so we'd have something to compare. That's really unfair of him.
Here's Milbrett trying to bring in Tatopoulos. And now the Ukraine, everybody's sort of looking at each other as their movement just is literally at nothing right now. At the University of Portland's Merlo Field, Glenn Davis and Julie Foudy here on ESPN2, the United States women's national team with a 6-0 lead over the Ukraine. Even more importantly, for the United States today, that woman right there, Tiffeny Milbrett, making history, scoring her 100th goal. She joins company with only 5 other players worldwide. And not only that, does it in front of her mom, Elsie, here in Portland. Storybook ending here, really. And maybe more goals to come from her. She may add to that tally today. Lily left it for you, please. Tina Frimpong, who's earned her first cap, to Margraf. Ukraine have no shots here in the second half. Here's Milbrett now with Tatopoulos in the box. Carli Lloyd joining in as well. Milbrett to the end line, whips it over. Tatopoulos was closing in at the back post. Tiffeny Milbrett. Well, here is a look at history. 100th goal for Tiffeny Milbrett.
Allie Wagner playing a wonderfully chipped ball that just dies at Milbrett's feet, and Milbrett having the vision to look and see the keeper off her line, chips it in perfectly over her.
Veronica Schulha was chipped, and the celebration began. Everybody up on their feet here for one of the most famous athletes in Portland, Tiffeny Milbrett.
And Glenn, we talked about Coach Greg Ryan wanting to try different systems and being able to switch in the middle of the game, and he liked that, you know, a lot of the players on the United States team brought great versatility. They could play in midfield, they could play in the back line. Here is a perfect example. Lori Kolupny has moved to the right outside back position, so we switched into a 4-4-2, so you've got her at right outside back. She was at right midfield before and left midfield some, so it's a good opportunity again to work on new things, changing systems in the middle of the game without having to make big substitutions.
Nice little backfield from Carli Lloyd, and strong tackle there. And from number 15, Titova. This portion of the match presented by Gatorade. Well, he's been very clear that the future of U.S. women's national team soccer is going to certainly include a lot of tactical flexibility, and players are going to have to fit in to a number of different systems and be capable of playing in a number of different systems.
And over the course of the history of the national team, we've had many players like that. And in the middle of a tight game, when you need to switch to a different system or something happens on the field, to have that versatility. Christine Lilly can play in the midfield up top. Lindsay Tarpley can play in the middle up top. Lori Fair, he loves her versatility. That's why she was brought on as an alternate in the 2004 Olympic team. Lori Kolupny, there's so many players that have that great versatility that helps the team.
This game clearly showing that there still remains a large gap between the United States and Eastern European countries. But if we look at the European Championships, as a Ukrainian player down, Julie, what did we learn from those recent European Championships? Standard of play looks to be growing everywhere.
Oh, there's no question. And in many parts of the world, women's soccer has been frowned upon for many years. There's this machismo of, oh, well, the men played and the women shouldn't. So it's interesting to see all these countries that typically haven't been strong women's soccer nations are doing much better, which is great to see.
Talk a little bit more about that in the future. ESPN2's presentation of U.S. Soccer today is brought to you by Phillips. Technology should be as simple as the box it comes in. Bud Light, fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. And CompUSA. Visit CompUSA today for all of your technology needs. Expand on that a little bit more, Julie. I mean, what did we see from England? I'm seeing England now looking really a lot stronger maybe than in past years.
Well, my in-laws are English, and the first time they heard I played football, they went, "What? You're a woman. What are you doing playing football?" You know, and so that's still a cultural obstacle we're having to overcome. But you're seeing England, you're seeing Scotland, traditionally not strong women's soccer nation, getting better. Julie Fleeting, who played with me in San Diego with the Spirit, is an amazing goal scorer from Scotland. Brazil, traditionally just for the men, their women's team. I mean, look at the past Olympics and their performance in the final against us.
A lot of great soccer on tap this summer, so much that we've got great opportunities to see a number of different games. The Sierra Mist MLS All-Star game tradition continues. The MLS All-Stars taking on English Premier League club Fulham, Carlos Bocanegra's club, and Brian McBride. It all comes to you from Crew Stadium, Columbus, Ohio. McBride and Bocanegra will be there. They will make their MLS homecoming. That's July 30th, live at 3:30 Eastern on ABC Sports. You're not going to want to miss that game. Patopoulos lays it off to Tarpley. Towards the back post, Schulhut gathers that in. Just to expand on that point, I think we're seeing federations now financially investing as well into the game.
And that was really the byproduct of the 1999 World Cup, where they saw the United States put on something that made a lot of money, and always the dollar signs help. And these countries are seeing it on television, and they're going, wow, these women can play, and it's entertaining, and there's value to it. So you all of a sudden started seeing the South American countries and the European countries investing in their women's programs, Canada, Mexico.
Here's Lindsay Tarpley with some time and space on the right side now. Fatopoulos in the box. Milbrett getting in there as well. Left-footed shot off the mark. Let's go now to U.S. international striker Christy Welsh. Christy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Hi, guys.
Well, Christy, we all know goal scorers sometimes go in phases. You're certainly in a good one right now. Where's all of these goals coming from, and how high is your confidence?
You know, I don't know where they're coming from, but I'm not going to complain. I just hope they keep coming. And, you know, every time I go out there, I'm just trying to get one. And, you know, playing with these people, this group of ladies, it's amazing. Everybody's just, the balls are perfect. You can't mess it up.
Christy Welsh, I was smiling up here when you keep scoring. They just keep on coming. Can you talk about and tell the viewers what you've been doing in the last 2-3 years to get as fit as you were when you came in last year?
Well, I heard a rumor you were telling people I was running on treadmills.
Yeah, I told them that's how you stayed on.
Yeah, no, I tell you, it's a good thing. It keeps you, for those of us who can't, you know, keep a steady pace going, you just get on one and it keeps you going. But no, I mean, playing overseas, I've been doing that. I've been overseas with a bunch of the girls, and it's been great. And I think it's just a matter of getting myself around good players, and it's been really good.
Christy, thanks very much for taking the time to join us.
Thanks for having me.
Christy Welsh out of Penn State, getting her 20th goal of her international career today, along with 29 caps. You can see now Ukrainian players cramping and going down everywhere.
And this is the problem when you land the night before. Unfortunately, with all their flight delays and problems with the London airports, you're still dehydrated from the airline.
Tiffeny Milbrett exiting now on a field where so many memories and dreams have been realized, including today's historic 100th goal, as her mom looks on. Let it go, boss. Let it go. It's a big shot.
You can see everyone so happy. They wanted it so bad they could get that right here in Portland.
I know! Hey.
Thanks. Thanks.
What happens when you're big time pitch? Yeah, you gotta go over people.
Thanks, Scotty. And the security guy.
Go Tiffany! Tiffany!
Thanks, Nick.
Congrats. It tells me she's going to get
right? Security?
Hey, you forgot hype. I've done that.
Oh,
love the fashion that she took that 100th goal in, you know, lobbing the goalkeeper, a player who's remained very strong to her competitive roots there with PR specialist Aaron Heifetz.
And she has scored so many important critical goals in the history of the women's team. My favorite being the one in double overtime against Norway in the 2000 Olympic final. 5'2" Tiffeny Milbrett out jumping the entire 8-foot Norwegian team to score and put us into.
Just saw Heather O'Reilly. That's who has come on for Tiffeny Milbrett. She gets a well-deserved break and round of applause from a highly respected
monkey off the back,
crowd here at Merlo Field on the campus where she's joined so many memories. This portion of the match brought to you by Home Depot. And that shot lashing just wide from Heather O'Reilly as she tries to get into the act.
She's getting in quick. Heather O'Reilly is one of those players who's so fast. She's the youngest on the team. The youngest player at the Olympics at 19 years old. She's now just 20 years old and is just a quick one-on-one slashing type of forward.
Boy, how important was that goal that she scored at the Olympics against Germany in the semifinals?
I had just come off of a bad ankle injury and I was on the sidelines, Glenn, and every time she get the ball I was just screaming, "Take him!" because she's so fast and Germany was tiring, and perfectly fitting for the youngster to knock in the winning goal against Germany in a semifinal that had been sent into overtime.
And on cue, the sun breaking through the clouds here in the Pacific Northwest. And this field is absolutely impeccable. And what a nice, intimate environment it is here at the University of Portland. And so fitting that Tiffeny Milbrett gets her 100th goal here. Frimpong continuing to fight. Cue, please, to Fotopoulos, and big strong tackle there from Masalski, who cramps up. Well, Monday night, the baseballs are gone at Co-America Park as ESPN brings you the Century 21 Home Run Derby, and some of baseball's heaviest hitters swing for the fences. The Century 21 Home Run Derby on ESPN this Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's also available in Spanish on ESPN Deportes and in high definition on ESPN HD. You can call your cable operator satellite provider today. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. Everybody loves a home run derby. Let's go now to the star of today, Tiffeny Milbrett. And Tiffany, you know, we were just talking up here about how when you took that goal, it was something out of the theater of the imagination. It was creative, something that you've really strongly believed in when it comes to playing soccer. How important was it not only to get that goal, but sort of get it in that fashion?
You know, I was just telling a teammate, I didn't think it was going to feel that great, but man, it felt great. You know, you can think about all you want about getting it, but once you get it, the feeling is just overwhelming.
And not just to get it, Millie, but how about here, right here in Portland? Your mom's watching, you're in front of all your friends, family at your hometown.
Yeah, like I told you before, it's just numbing. I think, you know, I don't know, monkey off the back, but at home, I know Clive's watching, so it's amazing.
Did you think when you stepped away 16 months ago that you'd ever be on the field again?
You know, there was a part of me that didn't, and, you know, that was a decision that honestly I had to make, and I may not have come back, but, you know, I decided to, and then I got the luck of the fortune with Greg giving me a shot back.
Tiffany, just describe when you got that ball over the top of the Ukrainian defense, what you were thinking. Take us through the goal.
Well, I think the difference with that one is I was thinking about 100 on every other shot. And with this one...
So were we, by the way. Yeah. I kept going, oh!
Thank you. And I think just with this one, I was in the moment, and it just seemed right, and my body just did, and I think that's why I scored.
Well, Tiffany, what a great day for you. We've enjoyed all the great moments you've provided U.S. Soccer, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Mel.
Thanks, guys.
Tiffeny Milbrett, the historic 100th goal, and I just like the way it came. You know, it wasn't something knocked off the shins of a defender or, you know, poking in a rebound. It came pure class, which sort of defines her career.
It was beautiful, and it must be something about this city. Christine Lilly getting her 100th goal in Portland at PGE Park.
And as we talk about Tiffeny Milbrett, silently, Christine Lilly has hit for a goal and 2 assists today. She continues to get on the scoring charts game after game after game as captain.
And it's amazing to me, 297 caps.
More than any player in the world, male or female.
And yet she's just buzzing out there all the time. And she's a part of every goal. She's helping every goal. She's now leading the team as captain. It's great to see her in that captain's band. She's such a natural leader. My job was always easy back in the day because I had, these five, the veteran five, and a lot of other veteran players around me to lead. But, she's got a real challenge in that it's a young team and a new coach, and it's a different era. And her leadership is going to be vital.
You and I have talked a little bit, and maybe fans think she's quiet, but she's not as quiet, according to you.
She's a closet nutball. Total nutter.
So she's...
And she'll try and play off that she's quiet, but no, we used to make fun of her because when she was first on the team, when we were all like 16 years old, she traveled with her little stuffed animal, and she was homesick. She was crying every week. And so there's no crying in soccer. Get over it. But she obviously can't get enough of the team now. She's not going to retire, she says, and many fans, including myself, are happy to see her continue for many years to come.
She does not look like she is slowing down one bit. This portion of the match presented by Phillips, as the UK get the free kick there after the handball on Tarpley. There is Christine Lilly, now in that vital role of captain for the United States women's national team. Over for my partner here in the booth. You become a captain and they throw you up in the television.
She's next.
Frimpong now. One of the young rising stars for the United States. Here is Lily. Tina Frimpong. Of course, important day for her. Her first cap, and played at the University of Washington. Reddick. And there is pinpoint accuracy over distance from Kat Reddick. Lily. Hughley's. One went off referee Jennifer Bennett. Deitel, number 9, continuing to fight. O'Reilly's offside.
And you can see the United States working on their rhythm, finding feet, having patience.
Here was history made today, the 100th goal for Tiffeny Milbrett. Just lobbing that one over the top of Veronica Schula. And not only does she get 100 to join 5 other players, including Mia Hamm, but where did she take that goal in style?
She made it look so simple, because here it's a bouncing ball. She's having to strike a half volley. It's coming across her body. It's not a straight on with a keeper. That's an easier ball to lift and chip over her. And then she places it with perfect pace.
As I look out here and I see the Tina Frimpongs and Carli Lloyd right on the ball now, and I see them, and Ukraine will get a free kick. Has it been difficult for the U.S. fans to get over the fact that there is going to be change? There is not going to be Julie Foudy anymore. There is not going to be Brandi Chastain. There is not going to be Mia Hamm. Is that something that you felt that has become a little bit difficult for fans to accept?
I think it's just momentary. Yeah, but it's momentary, and there's been transitions in.
Here's a long blast from the Ukraine from Mihailenko, which gets a good round of applause. So anyway, back to that question.
I think it's momentary, and the interesting thing is there's so many great young players that are going to be stars so quickly. It's just we've been casting such a large shadow for so many years. The fans haven't gotten to know them, and here now is a perfect opportunity for them to be seen and applauded and celebrated, because they're going to do wonderful things for U.S. soccer.
Is it important for the Julie Foudys, the Mia Hamms, the Joy Fawcett's to endorse these young players now and almost do a little bit of a selling job to the United States fans?
We won't even have to sell them. They're naturally, they're natural personalities. I think what has always attracted fans to this team is we love the game and we love to get out there and play, and you can see it in these younger kids as well. I mean, look at Abby Wambach and the enthusiasm she brings to the field, and Ali Wagner and Shannon Bach. There's going to be so many names that like anything, just take a bit of time for people to get to know them and be familiar with them. But the great news is you've got so many wonderful personalities.
Tarpley is one of them. She gets it over, and it's firmly headed out by the Ukraine. Here's Kolupny. Lloyd Riley Kolupny started as sort of outside wide player today on the left side. Has been moved to the right, showing her versatility. Speaking of getting to know people, one team that won't need an introduction this summer is Real Madrid, and they are coming on a U.S. tour. The 9-time European club champions Real Madrid, 2 games in July on the tour in the United States. Are going to play Chivas of Guadalajara in Chicago on Saturday, and then July 18th, this is great, against the LA Galaxy and Landon Donovan in Carson, California. And, you know, it's so good for Major League Soccer teams to get an opportunity to go up against teams like Real Madrid.
I mean, can you imagine playing a team like that? That is an all-star team of the world's finest.
A lot of interest around those games, and if you have an opportunity to get out to that, the rarity of a Real Madrid in the United States, and then also the fact that they are going up against some of our best of Major League Soccer, makes it very intriguing. And a lot of times these teams coming over for tours and only playing against each other, and it's nice that they're giving back and maybe helping bring more attention to Major League Soccer.
And Greg Ryan.
O'Reilly is in to make it 7. O'Reilly, empty net, drills it in. 7-0 U.S. Heather O'Reilly picking up her 5th international goal.
And you can see we're in the final minutes of a 6-0, now 7-0 game, and yet you still have players fighting for balls, running off the line. And Heather O'Reilly finishing this nicely, getting in behind the defense. And that's what this team has always brought, the United States, that even when you're up against an opponent, and even when it's 2005 and the World Cup's 2 years away, the United States are going to be out there scrapping. They're fighting for positions. They're wanting to evolve, because the big picture always is this World Cup in 2007, the Olympics in 2008. And every opportunity to play against another country is an opportunity to get better. And it's why we've consistently been so good for so many years.
So that connects today's game against the Ukraine to the 2007 World Cup. Despite the fact that maybe the competition not here today, it's still an opportunity for players to perform.
And these players know that Greg Ryan, the coach, is looking right now. How can you perform when nothing's on the line? It's 6-0. Are you going to still be in there fighting and tackling and scrapping?
And maybe that's a statement in itself. You go in a 6-0 game and you're trying to make a statement. And stepping up, making a statement is Carli Lloyd. Over the top, onside is O'Reilly. A New Jersey connection here. Heather O'Reilly, shot it wide. And that will do it. The United States, an emphatic 7-0 victory, Julie, over the Ukraine. Dominant today in every facet of the game.
First half, a little sluggish. Tiffeny Milbrett and Shannon Box talked about Greg Ryan, talking to them, came out second half and put on a show.
Tiffeny Milbrett getting the historic 100th goal of her career. Today earning her 201st cap in front of her mother here on the campus of the University of Portland, where so many memories have been evolved. And we're going to talk more with Tiffeny when we come back. We'll get an opportunity to speak with her again. The United States dominant, 7-0 over the Ukraine. Greg Ryan remains undefeated as a head coach for the U.S. That woman is a part of history. We're back in a moment on ESPN2. Portland today, the United States women's national team in a dominant performance. A 7-0 victory over the Ukraine, highlighted by Tiffeny Milbrett's 100th goal of her international career, something that has only been achieved by 5 other women. Let's take a look at that list of people, and boy, I'll tell you what, look at the names on this list, Julie.
Legends of the game. Mia, who sets herself apart at 158. Michelle Akers, Christine Lilly, Tiffeny Milbrett.
And of course, 2 Italians on there, Moraci and Vignoto. And if we talk about this game, we talk about the Canada game, the last 2 games under this Greg Ryan regime now, and under his influence. What have you seen so far? What are the most glaring things that are sticking out now around this team?
Surprisingly, I see a comfort level that I wouldn't have expected this early. And I think Greg Ryan has set the tone. He's been talking about wanting them to be creative, letting them play. And you see that in their style. They're laughing all the time. They're having fun. Not that this team didn't do that before, but there is an ease to them that is uncommon in a building year. When it's an evolutionary year, it's experimental, and yet there's a calmness and confidence.
Well, the star of the hour here in Portland certainly isn't either of us. It is Tiffeny Milbrett. Let's go now to Tiffeny Milbrett, who scored that historic 100th goal. Tiffeny, you know, I know so many memories here, so many memories from a big mentor and influence of yours, Clive Charles. Connect the dots with us with Clive and this 100th goal today.
I don't know. It's, the only thing that comes to mind is just it seems fitting. You know, I think for me, you know, I heard Fowdy talking about, you know, the creativity that Greg's allowing and actually encouraging. And, you know, it just seems to fit with everything I learned here, my roots at University of Portland with Clive.
And Tiffany, talk about that creativity that Greg often talks to Glenn and myself about is this ease, and you can feel it with the team when you're walking around them. How has it been this year with him?
Well, it's just like he's opening us up as players. You know, I feel like, you know, you hear the F word, the freedom, but it's just, you know, when you have the ability to just go after and try things, you know, that's when brilliant things happen. And I think, you know, you talked about the ease of everybody. You just see, you know, you just feel this relaxed atmosphere, and I think that, you know, it's going to elevate everybody above and beyond what they're capable of.
Tiffany, we thank you very much. Congratulations on a historic day to you.
Thank you so much.
Tiffeny Milbrett, U.S. international striker. A big part of U.S.'s 7-0 victory today over the Ukraine. Coming up next, the 2004 World Series of Poker presented by Miller High Life. Join us on Saturday for ESPN2's coverage of Major League Soccer. The Columbus Crew face the Chicago Fire live at 4 p.m. Eastern. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Julie Fowdy, this is Glenn Davis. Good night from Portland. The final score, the United States 7, the Ukraine 0.
Normally bustling LA, but inside the Home Depot Center, there is no shortage of energy and activity as the proud U.S. women's national soccer team franchise gets set to take another step. We're 2 games into the new era of U.S. women's national team soccer. The excitement is back, but what have we learned? Well, for starters, the vets still shine, but the youth is awfully promising. Abby Wambach continues to be one of the game's most dominating players. The States were hoping for depth in the nets, and they have it. A defense that was long dominated by experience now relies on guile, guts, and speed. It's the new look U.S. women, and they take to the LA stage next.